Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our virtual Mishnah Berurah share. We are in Mishnah Berurah Chelik Hey. We pick up today on the bottom line of Pei Vav Amid Beis. We're continuing Hilchas Pesach, and we are in the midst of Siman Taf Ayin Hey. I hope we will finish Taf Ayin Hey today, and maybe we'll actually go a little bit further. So we pick up on the bottom line of the Shulchan Aruch on Pei Vav Amid Beis Sif Hey. Achal Kazayis Matzah. Let's say you ate the kazayas of matzah to fulfill your obligation, your mitzvah saseh daraisa of eating matzah by the Seder night. And at the time, the person was not mentally sound when he ate the matzah. Now, the words nichbe be'es shtusai, I was struggling exactly how to translate the word nichbe. I have two different thoughts in my mind exactly what the word nichbe means. The word nichbe could come from the shirish, the same shirish as kafa, kifa'ai. He was forced. Nichbe be'eshtusai may mean literally that he was forced, but doesn't really mean forced, more that he was under the influence of a time of shtus, where he wasn't mentally sound. He has some sort of condition where at sometimes he's not mentally clear. Maybe he has, maybe it's a sort of a dementia or something, where there are times that he's lucid and times that he's not. So, v'hu nichbe be'eshtusai would mean that at the time that he's not lucid, it's kind of, he's influenced by a period of time where he's not lucid. Or the word nichbe could come, and this is very time appropriate, it could be like the famous Chazal by Kabbalah Satira, Kafa alav har kegigis, that the Rabbeinu Shalom bent over Har Sinai, over the Klal Yisrael, like an upside-down jug. So nichbe be'eshtusai in that way, in that sense, would mean that he is bent over or fallen over. Now, be'eshtusai in that case, this could be a reference to like an epileptic fit, some kind of a seizure, some kind of, again, a person who is afflicted by some kind of a condition where there are times where something happens to him and he's not lucid. But either way, as far as the halacha that we're discussing, we are talking about somebody who eats the kazayas of matzah while he is not mentally lucid. And then the Shulchan Aruch continues on Pei Zayin Amud Aleph, V'achar kach nisrape. And then later on, he is healed. So he wasn't lucid, and now he reaches a point later by the Seder night where now he is lucid. So the Shulchan Aruch says, Chayiv lechel acher shenisrape. He has to eat the matzah over again. So the point of the Shulchan Aruch here would be that although he ate matzah already once by the Seder, but since he ate that matzah at a time where he was not lucid, now that he becomes mentally clear, he needs to eat the matzah again. Why? Lefisha oisa achila, because the time that he did eat the matzah, haisa b'shah shahaya pater mikol mitzvahs. That achila took place at a time when he was a shaita, when he was not mentally clear, and at that point he really was exempt from all mitzvahs. So you cannot tell me that he fulfilled the mitzvah saseh of achilas matzah if at the time that he ate it he really wasn't obligated in the achilas matzah because he was not mentally lucid. Says the Mishnah Berurah that it's here on Pei Zayin Amud Aleph, 2 lines down in the Mishnah Berurah, Eis Katan Lam Ches, V'achar kach nisrape. What the Shulchan Aruch means to say, the case that he is alluding to, is ba'oisai halayla. He became cured, he became mentally lucid again on that night. Till a machar, because if he did not become mentally clear until the next day, certainly the next day he cannot make a bracha al achilas matzah and hope to be mekayim the mitzvah of achilas matzah the next day. Because by day it's only optional to eat matzah by the day on Pesach. The chiyuv asay, the chiyuv mitzvah to eat matzah is by the Seder night, not the next day. Ve'ein tashlumin lemitzvazu. And if you did not eat the matzah by night, there's no tashlumin. You cannot make it up by eating the matzah the next day. So when the Shulchan Aruch says v'achar kach nisrape, and then he became cured and became mentally clear, he must mean that happened later on the Seder night. So the Shulchan Aruch said that he has to eat the matzah over again when he is clear. Why? Because when he ate the matzah when he was not lucid, at that point in time, he was not obligated. He had no chiyuv of achilas matzah when he wasn't mentally lucid, because a shaita doesn't have a chiyuv of achilas matzah. He ate the matzah at a time that he was exempt. What the Shulchan Aruch wants to say here is, at that time, he was considered a shaita. He was considered a mentally deficient person, ve'enoi ish, and he's not included in what we would call an ish. He's not a mentally sound man. He's not a mentally sound person. So he has no obligation of achilas matzah. Now, there's a very interesting Sharet Tzion over here. Sharet Tzion Ois Katan Lamed Tes. So the Shulchan Aruch just told me that if somebody ate matzah at a time when he was not obligated to do so, so in our case, he ate the matzah at a time that he was halachically considered mentally deficient, so he ate the matzah when he was a shaita. And a shaita has no chiyuv of achilas matzah, so even though he ate the matzah, since he was a shaita, he has to eat the matzah over again, because the achilas matzah that he didn't count for anything. He wasn't mekayim the mitzvah. Says the Chavetz Chaim in Sharet Tzion Lamed Tes, la'afuke, this would stand in contrast to another case. La'afuke shomer aveda. Let's say somebody found a lost object, and now he's watching the lost object to protect it until the person can come and claim it. So he's being mekayim a mitzvah. He's being Isaac in the mitzvah of Hashavas Aveda. Ayim mishamer hameis, or somebody who's doing shmira on a mace, on somebody who passed away, and he's doing the shmira on the body of the person who passed on, which is also a mitzvah. Now, we know the rule is, Isaac b'mitzvah, pater min ha-mitzvah. When you're engaged in asiyas ha-mitzvah, when you're engaged in the performance of one mitzvah, you're exempt on the performance of another mitzvah. So, is that person, let's say it was the Seder night, and somebody is sitting and he's doing shmira on a mace. So now you're going to tell me that if while he's sitting in the room with the mace and doing shmira on the mace, he eats matzah, are you going to say that he wasn't mekayim the mitzvah of achilas matzah, because when he ate that matzah, he was actually potter from achilas matzah because he was a shomer on a mace? Or if he was being shomer on aveda, also you're going to tell me that he's potter from achilas matzah because he's a shomer aveda? So now the achilas matzah that he does while he's sitting there doesn't count? So the Sharet Tzion says no. In that case, he would be mekayim the mitzvah. After who gam kein potter az mikol mitzvahs, even though while he's being the shomer on the mace, he's potter from all other mitzvahs. Va'afilu yachal lekayim shneim. Even if it's a mitzvah, even if it's possible for him to fulfill both mitzvahs, you could be a shomer of an aveda and you could eat matzah at the same time. Eating matzah doesn't have to distract you from your ability of protecting an aveda. So really, there's no reason why you can't do both. Still, in tzarich l'trayach achazeh, if it's a tircha to go be mekayim the mitzvah of achilas matzah, maybe he has to go and get the matzah to find a place to eat it, this, that. Ladas kama paiskim, he's still potter because el b'simon lamed ches. So imachal matzah azai yotza yidei chayvasai. So the Chavetz Chaim says that person would fulfill his obligation of achilas matzah, even though technically at the time that he ate the matzah, he was potter from achilas matzah. Still in all, he is mekayim the mitzvah of achilas matzah. Even though here we're saying that if you ate the matzah while you're a shaita, you're not mekayim the mitzvah of achilas matzah, because while you were a shaita, you were potter. But if you're being Isaac in another mitzvah, even though Isaac b'mitzvah potter min ha-mitzvah, if you eat the matzah while you're being Isaac in that mitzvah, you are mekayim the chiyuv of achilas matzah. Why? So the Sharet Tzion explains, the Chavetz Chaim explains here, to who ish, because the person who eats the matzah while he's a shomer on a mace, or while he's a shomer of an aveda, he is still included, he's an ish. He's a perfectly competent, fully fledged individual who is chayiv in mitzvahs. Ella she'oz loichi vatu ha-Torah mimnei shehu Isaac b'mitzvah acheres. Even though he is fully of sound mind and fully competent, the Torah Akdosha gave him a ptur. The Torah Akdosha said right now he's exempt from achilas matzah. But if he does do it, there's no chesaron in him. He is not intrinsically lacking in his ability to be mekayim the mitzvah. He checks off all the boxes. He fits the bill of a person who could be mekayim the mitzvah of achilas matzah. So if he eats the matzah, he's yotze the mitzvah. Masha came the shaita. When he ate the matzah while he was a shaita, he is not a person who's obligated at all. He's not a person who's able to be mekayim the mitzvah. There's an intrinsic lack in him. He's a shaita. He's not a bar chiyuva. He's not a person capable of having the chiyuv of achilas matzah. The person who's being a shomer on aveda, or the person who's being a shomer on a mace, he intrinsically is an ish. He is a person who's a bar chiyuva. He carries the obligation of achilas matzah. Just he's in a situation where there's an exemption that applies to him. But if he does do it, he's mekayim the mitzvah. Masha'eken, the shaita is b'chalal not a bar chiyuva. When we come Makkah, still in all, the Chavetz Chaim does says, Mr. Pakna, we do have a suffix, we do have a doubt. Im yuchal az levarech, can the shomer on the mace or the shomer in aveda, can he make a bracha? Berchas achilas matzah, can he make the bracha of asher kiddishanu b'mitzvaysav v'tzivanu al achilas matzah? How can he say asher kiddishanu b'mitzvaysav v'tzivanu keven shehu el ze'ina mitzvah al zeh? You can't make a bracha and say asher kiddishanu b'mitzvaysav v'tzivanu, who sanctified us with the mitzvahs and commanded us to eat matzah. Right now, when you're a shomer aveda, you're not commanded to eat matzah. If you do eat matzah, you will be mekayim the mitzvah, but you're not commanded to do so because you're Isaac the mitzvah, patur min mitzvah. So the Chavetz Chaim says, while if he eats the matzah, he is mekayim the mitzvah, the Chavetz Chaim says there is a doubt whether or not he can make the bracha. Okay. Let's go weiter to Siv Vav. Second line in the Shulchan Aruch, Pei Zayin Amud Aleph. Achal kechatzi zayis. Let's say you ate a half a kezayis of matzah, the chazar v'achal kechatzi zayis, and then you went ahead and you ate another half of a kezayis of matzah. Yotza, you're yotze the mitzvah. Even though you ate one half of a kezayis in one act of eating, and now you ate another half of a kezayis in another act of eating. Really, lechatchilu, we said earlier, you should eat the whole kezayis in one act of eating. You should try to swallow the whole kezayis at one time. Still in all your yoitza. Ubelvad shelo yishe ben achila lachaverta yoiser miktei achilas pras. As long as the two acts of eating were not separated by a delay of the length of kedei achilas pras. Now let's see. Let's take a look at the Mishnah Berurah and see what's at work over here. Says the Mishnah Berurah is cutting men. The chazar va'achal. So the way the Shulchan Aruch writes the case, it sounds like you took a half of a kezayis of matzah and you ate it, and then you stopped eating, and now you sat and you waited. Now you picked up another half of a kezayis of matzah and you ate that half of kezayis of matzah. In that case, the Shulchan Aruch tells you your yotza as long as you didn't wait kedei achilas pras between the two acts of eating. Says the Mishnah Berurah, nice cut mem. This halacha is true even if you weren't mafsik. It's not that you ate and then you stopped and then you ate again. Let's say you were eating the whole time. You took a little piece of matzah, you put it in your mouth, chew, 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 swallow. Take another piece of matzah, chew, 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 swallow. Another piece of matzah, chew, chew, chew. So you never were mafsik. You never stopped eating. Maybe even you never stopped eating. It's not chew, swallow, and then another piece, chew, swallow. It's you chew, 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 and then you take another piece while you're still chewing. You put more in your mouth. Meantime, you're chewing and swallowing. You're putting more in your mouth. So you never stopped eating. So Ela sheshah b'achilase as a kazayis yoyser michtei achilas pras. But it took you longer than a kedei achilas pras to eat the matzah. So you looked at the clock and you started eating matzah. But it took you 5 minutes, 6 minutes to eat a kezayis of matzah. We're going to see that according to most, a kedei achilas pras is approximately 3 minutes. So if it took you 5 minutes to eat the kazayas, so it took you more than a kedei achilas pras to eat the kazayas. Ein mitzdaref yachad. That eating is not considered one act of eating, even though you never stopped eating. It doesn't matter. The first 3 minutes of eating, that's kedei achilas pras. That's considered one act of eating. Once you go beyond the 3 minutes, once you're past the mark of kedei achilas pras, that act of eating that you're doing now is no longer connected to the eating that you did within the 3 minute mark. So it's very nice that over 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes you ate a kazayas, but it's not considered eating a kazayas in one act of eating. So you're not yotze the mitzvah. So the Shulchan Aruch said, if you had a delay in your eating, if your eating took a while, but it was bichtei toich kedei achilas pras, it took less than the 3 minutes. So then the Shulchan Aruch said, yotze, you're yotze, it's cutting them out. But hainu b'di'evet. The Shulchan Aruch says, you're yotze, b'di'evet, you're yotze. Aval l'chatchila, tzarich lechal kazayis b'yachad v'levloya. L'chatchila, you're supposed to eat that whole kazayis in one time, and you're supposed to swallow it up in one time. The Dirshu footnote 39 says over here, how about if you talked in middle of your eating? So you make the bracha, you start eating, and now you talk. You're also yotze b'di'evet. Ubir hagayr yashiv sha'af pisha ein adibur nechshav hefsik. Even though the dibur is not a hefsik, so you could be yotze eating your matzah even if you talk in middle. But lechamchila you're not supposed to speak. Really, you're supposed to do the whole eating in one shot. You're supposed to eat it as fast as you can, so you shouldn't be talking. Now, we saw earlier in Sif Cotton Tess, in Mishnah Berurah, Ice Cotton Tess, earlier in this Siman. So that would be on Pei Hey Amid Beis. In Mishnah Berurah, Ice Cotton Tess, the Mishnah Berurah said, it's 3 lines before the end of Mishnah Berurah is cut and test. The Achrayim agree that tzarich rak lahaknis lepiu eshnei azesim b'basachas u'leraskam. You're supposed to try to get the 2 kazesim that you have to eat. That's the kazayis of the top matzah, the kazayis of the middle matzah, into your mouth at one time. But you don't have to swallow them in one shot. You should try to swallow a kazayas at one time. In the meantime, I saw in the Dirshu footnotes back then, a nice cut and test, they bring down from Mr. Karelitz, I think they bring down from others as well, that you're supposed to eat kederech ha'achila. You have to eat it in a normal manner of eating. If you're pushing yourself to eat in some kind of abnormal manner, that's a problem. That's not called derech achila. Maybe that alone is a reason why you should not be yotze. So we do want to eat the whole shear of achilas matzah, b'toich kedei achilas pras, which is approximately 3 minutes, and you should have no problem eating a kazayas within 3 minutes. But you should not feel like somehow you have to eat an abnormally large amount and try to swallow it down, and you're afraid you're going to choke in one shot because somehow you have to eat this massive amount of matzah in one swallow. You have to eat kederech ha'achila. Okay. Ice cut membes. Ben achila lechaverto. If there was a delay between one act of eating and another, says the Chavetz Chaim, Aloshen ein medukta kol kach. The etymology, the wording, the phraseology of the Shulchan Aruch is not so precise over here, says the Chavetz Chaim. The words of the Shulchan Aruch say, if you delayed between one act of eating and another. So let's say we use for kedei achilas pras 3 minutes. It sounds like what the Shulchan Aruch is saying is, if you eat one kazayas of matzah, and then you wait 2 minutes and 59 seconds, and then you eat another kazayas of matzah, since the delay between the 2 acts of eating was less than the kedei achilas pras, you're yotze. Says the Chavetz Chaim, that's not really true. From the beginning of the eating of the kazayas till the end of the eating of the kazayas has to be 3 minutes. You can't have a 3-minute delay, a 2-minute and 59-second delay in the middle, and then take another minute to finish eating. Then if that eating that you do at the end is not connected to the eating that you did at first. So it's from the beginning of the eating to the end of the eating of the kazayas. That all has to be done within Kedei Achilas Pras, which is 3 minutes. If you take more than 3 minutes to do the whole achila, you have a problem. It's not considered one act of eating. And I mentioned over here in footnote number 40. So footnote number 40 starts at the beginning. It starts near the bottom of the first column and continues on to the second column. And up at the top line of the second column, near the end of the line, it brings down here from the Rishiv Zatzal, from Rav Moshe, Das Agon Rav Moshe Feinstein, She'ein Misharin Ela Mishas Tchilas Habliya. What constitutes the beginning of the eating? We're saying that from the beginning of the eating of the kazayas until the end of the eating of the kazayas cannot be more than Kedei Achilas Pras. What marks the beginning of the eating? Says the Rishiv Zatzal, Mishas Tchilas Habliya. It's when you first start to swallow. So it's not when you first put matzah in your mouth. You could put matzah in your mouth and chew and chew and chew and chew, and you still have 3 minutes. The achila starts when you first swallow. So from your first swallow of the matzah until your last swallow of the kazayas has to be a Kedei Achilas Pras, which we're going to see is 3 minutes. Okay. Where did I? Okay. Ice cotton mem gimel. The Shulchan Aruch said, "Vayil kamon symmetry tough ratio beis marishir pras." Exactly what is the length of time of Kedei Achilas Pras? And we have over here. It's in footnote number 41. What is the share of Kedei Achilas Pras? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines into the second paragraph of Disha footnote 41 brings down a Vera B'Shalos Tshuva Sigris Moshe Kasav L'Inyan Berachas Hamazayin Sheshiurai Pachas Mishalish Dakos. That Kedei Achilas Pras means under 3 minutes. For Aruch HaShulchan Kasav Sheshiurai Shalish Arba Dakos. The Aruch HaShulchan says 3 or 4 minutes. A little further in this paragraph, they bring down here from Rosh Zalman Auerbach the Chein Dasa going to Rosh Zalman Auerbach. Shalachanchila yesh l'shar Kedei Achilas Pras b'shir shel arba dakos. Shlomo Zalman said that l'chanchila you could have up to 4 minutes. Shu asher shenayigim abriyim l'shar by healthy people should use 4 minutes. Amnam l'gabi katan v'chayla. If you're dealing with a katan or an ill individual, after lahakal sheyichaylu la'echal b'shir agadol shekedei Achilas Pras shu teisha dakos. You could be makel by somebody who has difficulty eating the matzah that quick. You could be makel up to 9 minutes. Okay. Now we go to Siv Zayin. Let's go back to the Shulchan Aruch, 3 lines down from the top, Siv Zayin. Ein chiyav achilas matzah elo balayla harisha bolvad. The obligation, the chiyav to be mekayim the mitzvah saseh of achilas matzah, only is in place on the first night. Says the Mishnah Berurah, is cut mem daled elo balayla harisha. Where do we get this from? Tiksiv ba'erev taichlu matzos, because it says in the pasuk ba'erev taichlu matzos. You're supposed to eat the matzos in the evening. Now, very interesting here in Dirshu footnote number 42. It brings down here va'afilu achar she'achal ashira kazayis, by the seder night, even after you ate a kazayis of matzah. Kasav abach, the Bach writes, shabalayla azeh, on the seder night. B'chol achilas matzah mekayim mitzvahs hasei min haTorah v'akar lehu mitzvah achas. By the seder night, as much matzah as you eat, every piece of matzah that you eat by the seder night, you're being yotze a mitzvah of achilas matzah. Ubir b'shal s'tshuvas ar l'tzion shu begeder ribui b'shiurin b'mitzvahs hasei. You're adding on to the shear of a mitzvah hasei. You keep getting the mitzvah as you eat. The Haisif and the Shalos Tshuvas Ar L'Tzion says, "Shalafikach layarba b'layla zeh b'achila shar ma'acholim." You shouldn't eat too many other things by the seder. Says the Arlutzion, Kadesh Yuchal Akayim Mitzvazu. Don't fill yourself up with gefilte fish and soup and some meat and this and that. No, better don't eat so much other things and eat more matzah, because every bite of matzah that you eat by the Seder night, you're being Yotza Mitzvah. Okay, continues the Mishnah Berurah. So the Mishnah Berurah said, you're only obligated to eat matzah the first night, because it says, Ba'erev Toich L'Matzos. As far as the other nights and days of Pesach, your tzivui on the rest of Pesach is to eat chametz, but you don't have a tzivui that you have to eat matzah. Now the Chofetz Chaim points out that that's not so simple. What do you mean I'm not obligated to eat matzah by the rest of the sudas on Pesach? You're mechuyev to have a suda. You're mechuyev to have pas. And you can't eat bread, you can't eat challah. So the only pas you can eat is matzah. So you're mechuyev to eat matzah. How can you tell me you're not mechuyev to eat matzah? Still in all, explains the Chofetz Chaim, Yochalotzes b'matzah ashira. According to the Shulchan Aruch that we saw earlier, the Shulchan Aruch said you're allowed to eat matzah ashira on Pesach. Not to be mekayim the mitzvah by the Seder night, but you're allowed to eat matzah that was needed out of Mei Peros, according to the Shulchan Aruch. So the Chofetz Chaim is saying, you know what this means, that you don't have a chiyuv of achilas matzah? The first night you have a chiyuv of achilas matzah. It has to be lechem oini. You can't be mekayim the mitzvah with lechem ashira, with matzah ashira. But the rest of Yom Tov, you're right, you have a chiyuv to eat pas. So you have a chiyuv to eat matzah. But you can eat matzah ashira, so you're not trying to be mekayim the mitzvah of achilas matzah. You're being mekayim the mitzvah of eating bread by a Yom Tov Suda. But that's not the chiyuv, that's not the mitzvah say of achilas matzah of lechem oini by the Seder night. So Yochel says b'matzah ashira dainu shenilusha b'mei peros. Aval lechem oini ein mechuyev min haTorah kiyum b'layla rishon u'mishum sveika d'yom achav l'didon af b'layla shniya. Of course, according to us, when we say that you're obligated the first night, you're also obligated the second night because of sveika d'yom. Ois cotton mem hay. The Shulchan Aruch said, Ela b'layla rishon belvad. You're only obligated on the first night. Says the Mishnah Berurah, nice cotton mem hey, u'b'shem agra kasvu. It's written in the name of the gra. Tal kol panim mitzvah ikol lechol matzah kol shiva el she'ein chiv. There is a mitzvah that you're mekayim all Pesach when you eat matzah. Says the gra. All Pesach, you eat a piece of matzah, you yotza mitzvah, but you're not mechuyev to eat matzah the other days of Pesach. Says the Ramah. Let's go back up to the Shulchan Aruch. We're 4 lines from the top. I mean, it's the middle of the line. Hagah, says the Ramah. V'nagu latzos shalosh matzos shall seder me'isaron. The Ramah says that there was a minig that the 3 matzahs that go on the ka'ara should be a measurement of flour equal to an isaron, which is also the size of an omer. Remember when they picked them on, they picked an omer lagulgailis. That's an isaron. It's an aseres ha'efa, a tenth of an ephah, which in our measurements, I believe it's about 9 1/3 cups of flour. So he says the minig was to make the 3 matzahs out of 9 1/3 cups of flour. Why? Zecher lalach mei taida. Because when you brought a carbon taida, you brought it with chalos that were equal to an isaron. And remember, the Chofetz Chaim is speaking over here about a day and age where the production of matzah was a small affair. Maybe each homeowner, each housewife, or whatever it is, each husband, they made their own matzah for the Seder. So he says, when you're making your matzahs for the Seder, there is a minig that when you make the 3 matzahs that are going to go on the ka'ara, you should make them in their order. You should make the first matzah should be the kayin. It should be the top matzah. The second matzah you make should be the levi, should be the middle matzah that's going to be broken. And the third matzah should be the Yisrael that you're going to use for kairach. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself over here. Hagav, v'nagu l'asay shalosh matzah shall say there me'isaron. First, Ramah is just saying that when you make the 3 matzahs, it should equal an isaron of flour. Zeker lalach mei taida, as a remembrance, when you bring a carbon taida, you bring chalos together with a carbon taida, and those were made out of an isarin of flour. So we make the three matzahs of the kara out of an isarin of flour as a zecher for the lachmei taida. And when you bake them, you should make some kind of a mark on them to know which matzah is the first one you made. That should be the kayin. Which one is the second one you made? That should be the Levi. Which one is the third one? That one should be the Yisrael. The first matzah that you make should be the top one. The second one should be the middle one. And the third one you make should be the bottom matzah that you're going to use for kairet. However, but if you don't keep to that order, it's not a problem. And that's the way you should bake them. You should bake the kayin first, the Levi second, the Yisrael third. Let's say you bake your three matzahs and one of them breaks. So let's say you baked the kayin one, and then you baked the Levi one, and then you baked the Yisrael one. And the kayin one broke. So make that one the middle matzah, the balav haki person I saw, which in the future you're going to break it anyway by achatz. So you baked three matzahs for the kara, and one of them broke. Use the one that broke for the achatz matzah. And the point over here is, even though you might think that that's a problem, you might think if I bake that matzah to be the kayin matzah, so malin b'kaidish v'lei meridin. I baked this one for the intent that it should be the top matzah that I'm making the bracha of hamaitzi on, which is the first bracha. Now I should demote it and use it for the broken matzah. That's the second matzah, and it's the achilas matzah instead of the hamaitzi, which comes second. Maybe I can't do that. So the Ramah says, no, you can do that, and you should do that. And lastly, the Shulchan Aruch says over here that even on the first night of Yom Tov, if you only ate a kazayis, you're yaitza. Even though we say that really lechatchila you should eat a kazayis of the top matzah and a kazayis of the broken matzah, because we have this suffix. Which one do the brachas go on? Which matzah is the hamaitzi matzah? Which matzah is the alachilas matzah? So we say that you have to eat a kazayis of both, but even if you only ate one kazayis, you're yaitza. The share kazayis, and as far as what the share of a kazayis is, ayin l'kamon siman taf pevav sif aleph. Says the Mishnah Berurah. Ois cotton memvav v'nagu lasais. There was a minig to make the three matzahs of the kara out of an isarin of flour. Ayin b'sefer beis meir shemefakvek al minig. The beis meir does not like this minig. Uvekama mekarmeis kayom nishtaka minig. And he says in many places nowadays they forgot about this minig. And indeed, we don't do this. We don't try to make the three matzahs out of an asira sa'ifa. We don't make it out of 9 and 3 cups of flour. One of the reasons the Beis Meir was mafaktik on this and didn't like it is because if you remember, we said that we're even worried when you say Pesach zeh shayu aviseinu oichlin b'mitzrayim al shumma. When we say about the Seder that there are 3 things everybody has to say it. If they don't say it, they're not yotz to the mitzvah. Matzazu, this matzah that we eat. Why do we eat it? So we said you pick up the matzah. Maror zeh, you pick up the maror. But by Pesach we don't pick up the zraya. Because if we would pick up the zraya, it looks like we're being magdish kachim lechutz. It looks like we're being magdish this zraya as a carbon Pesach, even though we're not in the precincts of the Beis Hamikdash. So maybe over here you would say, he says over here, the Beis Meir was mefakvik, and he said you shouldn't. The Ramah said that there was a minig to bake the 3 matzahs out of an isarin of flour so that it should look like the lachmei taida. The Beis Meir said, don't do that, because then it might look like you're being magdish kachim b'chutz. Ice cotton mem zayin. Siman, the Ramah said you should make a mark on the 3 matzahs when you bake them so that you should know which one is the kayin, which one is the Levi, which one is the Yisrael. But, says the Mishnah Berurah, and last is oisi ois lehekera. Don't make letters on the dough before you bake the matzah so that you should know. Maybe you'll take the dough before you bake it and you'll scratch into the dough kayin. And into the second matzah you'll scratch Levi. So now you know which one is which. It says don't do that. Because because now when you break the matzah, if you break a letter, you're erasing a letter, which is a malacha problem. Ois cotton mem ches, achas mehen. If one of them breaks, you shouldn't worry, and you should use that one to be the yachatz matzah. Pirush, what is the Ramah come to tell me here? Afilim ashlishis nishbara. He's telling you, even if the third matzah broke, right? You prepared the Kayin, the Levi, and the Yisrael. Now the Yisrael matzah, which is the matzah that's destined to be used for the kairich, that's the last matzah you're going to use, that matzah broke. And now the Ramah is telling you, elevate that matzah and make it the yachatz matzah. Take it from being the number 3 matzah and make it the number 2 matzah. Says the Chavetz Chaim, that's a big chiddush. Even if it's the third one that broke. So now by making that third matzah the yachatz matzah, you're elevating it above the second matzah. Nevertheless, you don't have to go back another one because of this question of kedima. Yotzei b'kazayis, the Shemar said even the first night, you're yotzei eating one kazayis of matzah, you don't have to eat 2 b'di'evet. I am the Seif of the Mishnah cut and test. We're going to stop over here. Mr. Hashem, tomorrow we'll pick up with Siman Taf Ayin Vav. Thank you so much for joining me for this Limud HaTorah. The schus of Limud HaTorah should protect Gans Klal Yisrael. The Rebbe Shem should send Yeshuas and Refuas. We should be zeicher to see Biaskel Tzedek b'meherav Yameinu. We should still be all regel for Shavuos. Be well.